Welcome back to the Xfinity Desk, and join with me, as we had all day long today, Tom T-Squared Taylor.
Oh yeah, the makeup lady just came through, gave us a little brush. We are so ready for the last series of the day.
I am ready, and the last series, an exciting one nonetheless. We've got Optic Gaming, of course, my brother's team, going up against Enigma6, arguably the second best, with on that giant win streak, doing great things, and even taking down CLG. So Optic Gaming definitely has their work cut out for them here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really intense, series here because Optic Gaming wants to prove to everybody that's watching in that Legendary Cup, everyone coming from the open side, the amateur side, that they are a force to be reckoned with. They look so good individually, but they just haven't been able to put it together as a team. We saw so many just minor objective mistakes, and they cannot afford to make those mistakes against E6, who will heavily punish them.
They absolutely will. We've seen everything from little mistakes to gooses now in the Pro League. That's something that Optic Gaming is going to be trying to avoid. So let's go ahead and take a look at the teams. Of course, Optic Gaming, we've got Straight Sick, we have the player profile Maniac, and don't forget, we'll have that Skype Q&A, the arena there, coming up tomorrow night after the show. Ace, the global champion, and then followed up with APG.
Yeah, and Optic a little bit, on the short end of the stick when it came to some roster changes. Flamesword ended up leaving to go coach, and then Nated, after they qualified for the LCQ, left them trying to scrap up for a fourth. That is APG, and APG getting a little bit of heat recently for not really playing up to par. However, Ace defending him publicly on Twitter, saying it's not all APG's fault, and it's not. It's a team game, and these guys need to band together here in this series. Ace
always being a class act. I'm not sure where he learned that from, because he definitely didn't learn it from me. But let's go ahead and take a look at Enigma6 here. Of course, we've got Hook, Boo Boo Doo Boo, Shooter, and followed up by the very vocal and very entertaining to talk to, and I have a great time every time he joins us for an interview, the one and only Kratos.
Yeah, I think he said he's going to start making more content, and that would be absolutely hilarious. But the star is Hugh here, the rising star, so young but yet so talented and just really shining and coming into his own. The #1 fantasy HCS player in all of the HCS Pro League. So we're going to have a lot of eyes on him, but also you have, Shooter and Boo Boo Doo Boo, who are kind of the unsung heroes, and when you have a big star like that, it's kind of good to fly under the radar because a lot of people, see your name and just don't really think much of you compared to your other teammates. So I'm sure these guys have no problem letting Hugh take all of the credit here when they know that they're putting in that equal amount of work.
And these guys, they're just so focused on winning. We have Kratos coming from a second place performance at Worlds, Hook and Boo Boo from the other top 4 denial performance. But let's take a look back on the Optic lineup. We've got a player highlight for Ace. He's consistently placed top 8 or higher. He's always been on teams where essentially he's considered one of the best players on this squad. Of course, I'm his brother, if you didn't already know, and we both have a decent amount of accomplishments. We're not cool enough to be twins, but we've still done our fair share in the Halo community. And of course, he is the Halo 4 global champion, winning that clean $200,000 in that insane 1v1 against Pistola.
Yeah, and one of the things about Ace is that he's such an intelligent player, right? He stays alive better than most players. He also is one of those players very similar to Heinz, how Heinz does almost everything for the team. We need to look at communication, when you look at just overall play, Ace kind of screams to me, I can slay, I can do the objective, and I'm pretty consistent when it comes to calling out. So overall, a really great player, also a really great person.
Yeah, not the best sniper, not the best shot, but one of the smartest, and you got to play to your advantages. He doesn't jump out like Hook maybe and 5-shot everything with a pistol, but if he's good at backing down, incorporating, bringing his teammates into the game, whether or not it's outside of the game, getting everyone grouped up and coordinated, or even in game, whether or not he needs to back down and commit to a different fight, or like we've seen so many great things from Commonly, just moving your position around to create advantages for your team and change the numbers game.
Yeah, exactly. Just staying alive that extra bit longer. That's really what he specializes in. So taking a look, we're moving into the game types here, and it looks like game #1 is going to be Eden Strongholds. Game #2, Slayer Coliseum. Game #3, Truth CTF. Game #4, Rick Strongholds. And game #5, if it goes to that, will be Plaza Slayer.
All right, it looks like we do have the players in the game getting ready to start here. Let's take a look at the map. Of course, 100 points to win. And T-Squared, tell us about Strongholds here on Eden.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, the camouflage has been moved inside of the security. You can see it there. The overshield has been moved away from that red side over towards the pit. And then you also have the rockets, which are located outside.
All right, and let's start this one off with Hook and see what exactly he's going to be doing this game. Seen so many great things before, and throws an amazing nade to pick up a kill on APG, push straight stick back, pick up a double, and grab that overshield. Great job. I'm happy that we started off with Hook here because he's off to a phenomenal start.
Yeah, picking up that overshield, getting the kills, and now making his way over towards the catwalk, which is also, in my opinion, the most important area to hold. Almost like you were talking about how the nest is so easily nadeable over there and really easy kind of to defend. I feel like the catwalk is very similar to that. So you're going to be see players probably holding that catwalk and red nest. That is the ideal setup here. You can also go for the triple cap. However, you can see Hugh just constantly playing aggressive.
And then when you said nest, were you talking about the rig nest here? Previously?
both nests.
Both nests,
yeah.
All right, good deal. And of course, Hook, with that beginning overshield and picking up that double kill to start, take a quick look at what happened to start this one off. Looks like Boo-Boo, Doo-Boo, and Hook, no surprise there, just off to a great start. While Kratos, on the other hand, 2 captures for this team already in the first minute of the game. Yeah,
and the triple cap's so hard to come back from. You have to start somewhere, and it looks like Optic is going to try to make their way over towards the catwalk. However, they're just dropping left and right. The triple cap's still in effect. It's not looking too good for Optic Gaming fans to start this game, and that's because of that impressive performance rate to start the game from Hugh. As I was saying all day, Kyle, the beginning strats are so important in Halo 5. You can't afford to go down, and especially in Strongholds against a top team.
And look what Hook did just a moment ago. He was about to jump up top center, saw a grenade on the floor next to Straight Stick or Maniac's body, one of the two, and then walked backwards and grabbed it. Just shows how smart this guy is, always looking for whatever advantages the game will give him, and his shot is on par with the best as well. This is a quick early 40-point lead for Enigma6, and they're not slowing down.
Yeah, but Optic is finally starting to play this one the right way. They finally got control of that red nest and then made their way over towards Blue Bend. They want to eventually get the catwalk. However, overshield and camo coming up very shortly. Hugh hasn't even died yet in this game, just rotating around perfectly. He did get that last overshield, so I guarantee he knows when the time is, and he's just making this one look easy. 2 minutes, 10 seconds in the game, hasn't even died yet. Picks up a double kill, still pretty much almost gonna live here. Is he gonna be able to get the overshield? He does not. It gets burned at 41. So Hugh just constantly putting work, finally dies when his team has 48 points.
And that was an amazing start. Let me just take a quick look here. He was able to pick up 5 kills to start this game off. So great job by him building and helping his team grab this lead. Now catwalk, there are nades being thrown, but that will go in favor of Optic Gaming. But with 2 members of Enigma6 up top and 1 down below, it's going to quickly go back in their favor.
Yeah, that was a great job by Optic Gaming to finally push on the catwalk, finally capture the catwalk. However, it was at the expense of their lives at the same time. So E6 capitalizing on that, making their way over there, going to recapture that and continue to build up on this lead now. 57 points to 9 points, and Boo-Boo Doo-Boo in a little sneaky spot here. Looks like he's like kind of lagging out, but not really. Kind of being a little bit cheeky here. So
I feel like I need to change the screen,
yeah,
but
I feel like we need to kind of realize, is the game actually working, or is Boo-Boo Doo-Boo just that sneaky? So he picks up a double kill. If he's outsmarting us, he's definitely outsmarting the other team. So a little bit of a weird play coming out from him, but that's pretty typical coming from Boo-Boo Doo-Boo here. And the triple cap coming out from E6. Optic able to stop that one. However, they are still scoring, and Boo-Boo Doo-Boo still has 2 rockets to defend this Blue Bend.
Hey, when there's a radar on the map, why not just stare at a wall? You know, it doesn't hurt you in that situation. And like if there was no radar on the map, of course, that would be pretty much worst case scenario. But radar on the map, take advantage of whatever the game has or whatever the game is willing to offer you. And Straight Stick trying to commit and challenge into the rocket player with 2 members there. And I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
That looked like a wasted death.
Well, I'm not sure if he still knew Boo-Boo Doo-Boo was over there, but the thing is I haven't really seen one cohesive push coming from Optic Gaming. It kind of seems like they're trying to do these pair things. I hope that they didn't discuss, guys, let's just roam in pairs, because when you go and say that, it seems like you really don't have much strategy as a team. So that rocket not necessarily connecting. However, E6 is just so strong that it's really making Optic Gaming go into these awkward positions that they may not be used to.
And I'm going to stay on board here with Enigma6, see what they can do. And Kratos picking up the reversal there on Maniac Shooter with the rockets in the kill feed. You can see he just picked up a kill on APG as well. And this is This is turning into be quite a stomping performance on the Optic Gaming.
Yeah, and if you go and just check the kills, you know, really quick, Kyle, pull up the stats and see what's going on. It looks like APG with a breadstick, only 1 kill, and that has to be the most dominant Strongholds performance I really have seen out of any team. I mean, E6 played that almost perfectly. Hugh going off with the 14 kills, pushing on the overshield. They're obviously just a step ahead, not only individually right now, which I was praising Optic for their individual skill, but teamwork-wise, I mean, that's just not looking good if you're an Optic Gaming fan, and it hurts to say that because I was definitely expecting them to come out strong in this first game.
I was definitely expecting something a little bit closer than this. That was 100-9. You know, it doesn't get more brutal than that, really. And of course, when Hook has more kills than the entire Optic squad,
Oof.
That's not a good thing.
Anyone could pretty much add that up. That is 13 kills for the side of Optic Gaming. That is 14 kills from the side of Hugh. And here we can see in that replay, 2 perfectly placed grenades is going to take out APG. Straight 6 stuck down there as well. So you got to go back to the drawing board if you're Optic Gaming and realize, okay, we got completely stomped here on this first game. Let's brush it off. Let's look at the beginning strats first of all, if they're even at that point on their team. Because like I was saying, Kyle, you got to be worried, you know, in the relegations, if you're not in that top 4 area. You know, Halo 5 has had a lot of team changes. People have constantly been changing teams. I hope Optic's not in that mindset where they're already thinking about changing their team before the HCS Pro League has even concluded. But when I go and see a performance like that from E6 and a performance like that from Optic, that's really all I can think about.
And Ace, you know, I've always expected the highest performances out of him individually. I always knew he was just like me, but even more talented or skilled. So I always expect, you know, great performances from him. But when you're going up against a team like this, or Enigma6, you know, at the very same time, there's only so much you can do. You know, one might need to go back and break down some of these games and really see what's happening. But, you know, I feel a little bad. You know, APG did have his incident where he's in that car accident, and he's really not been the same APG since that incident that we've seen.
Well, maybe kind of forced into this thing where he feels like he has to take this opportunity and continue to play. Maybe still not even at 100% here. But like I said, it's not even on one player. It's really just your overall team. They just got outworked. They got out-strategized. They got outplayed every single one of them individually. However, there is a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for Optic, in my opinion. I think that these game types do kind of favor them going forward. Maybe not favor them in terms of actually winning the series, but I've seen them, you know, lose game 1 pretty badly and then bounce really strong. And that Slayer in game 2, I believe it was Renegades they were going back, where they lost game 1 and then came back and staked them the next game. So they have it in them to put it past them to be able to do it. It's just they got to put it together. It's becoming, you know, towards the end of the season here, they need to show up and prove themselves. They have tons of fans watching at home.
Not only that, but at the very same time, you do have whoever is in the 7th place seed. So right now, I mean, at this point in the season, it's pretty obvious that we're looking at Team Liquid and Optic.
Right.
They're probably going to be moving to relegation. But there's still a lot on the line because the team with the higher seed is going to get to choose who they want to play from the open circuit.
Which is pretty big that you get an actual chance to choose. So that's a nice tidbit of information. And the thing is, though, is like I said, the other teams, you know, for example, coming from this open side, you have Elevate and French Toast Mafia, who are been pretty much finishing 1 and 2 for the last couple of weeks, looking extremely strong. So either way, you don't want to be going against either one of those teams, but if you get to have your pick against maybe who's playing, you know, a little bit weaker at the time, that's huge. So every series, like you said, even for Optic at this point, is crucial, and that's why you can't go in there with any type of team-changing mindset going forward.
I completely agree. Now, it looks like we do have the players jumping into game number 2. We are looking at Coliseum Slayer. Seen some great matches on here before. The ability for players to rotate the sniper around the map and just stay alive, just hang on to those weapons, is the key to victory here on this map.
Well, here's the thing, Kyle, is Eden Strongholds takes so much strategy. Slayer Coliseum, the strategy's pretty well known, and it's a pretty fast game type. So, if anything, Optic stands a lot more of a chance on this game type than they did in Eden Stronghold.
And we've seen players much more so in Slayers and objective games. You can have somebody bust out in L-Town and just go 21-6. And if you got a teammate that's 21-6, as long as he is not baiting the hell out of you the entire time, that's always a great teammate to have.
Yeah, and Huke starting off the game with another double kill somehow. So that's 2 games back-to-back getting the double kill. Ace laying down some really nice shots. Those rockets still haven't been picked up, so curious to see if anyone's going to be able to make some moves like the position that Straight Six in. However, his teammate is getting taken out from the side. That's a nice snow scope onto Boo Boo Doo's face, possibly picking up the double kill. No, that's going to be Shooter escaping with the rockets, so Straight Six going to do his best job of trying to hunt him down. So let's see the type of angles that he's looking for. Definitely one of the best snipers in the HCS Pro League. Not only really great twitch reflexes, but also knows how to position himself and reposition himself when he needs.
And unfortunately, no one on Optic was able to pick up that kill on the rocket player, so he was able to pick up several kills while hiding bottom center, no shields. The advantage, though, still in favor of Optic with a 2-kill lead. And if Strike Stick can hang on to this sniper essentially for the rest of the game, which is not easy to do, that'll be potentially Optic's time to go ahead and bring the series back.
Yeah, a really popular spot to snipe. He's on the elbow. However, his teammates are falling over, and I hate this positioning. I don't really use that word, but Maniac really just kind of giving up where Straight Six positioning is. I said earlier, you can't put 2 people on that rocket side of the map. Maniac, it would have been better for him to just fall straight down and maybe go for a flank to kind of leave an opportunity for Straight Six. But all in all, still a 1-kill lead for Optic, even with some of the minor mistakes that they're making.
And Maniac picking up a kill there on the Enigma6 player, kind of saving APG. I think he was about to be taken out there. You do have Siler there from Enigma6 with the rockets, and of course that's going to be Hook. So we can go ahead and take a look at his screen. Looks like he is in fact out of those rockets though.
Yeah, but the new rocket's already coming back. He's trying to blow them off the map over there towards the left-hand side. So a really nice grenade is going to blow the rockets all the way over to the DMR. So really nice combat involved if he can pick those up. Looks like he is going to make his way over there once his shields come back. So no combat evolved metal because he didn't possibly pick it up and had the old rockets in there. I'm sure that they weren't used to seeing the rockets get grenaded while still having old rockets. So just really smart play from Huke. Perfect rockets, perfect grenades, and now you guys can see why this guy is possibly the best player in the game, not on CLG currently.
And just what fantastic performance. He almost hit himself in the face with those rockets. Landed right in front of him, almost like a here, happy birthday, Hook. You go ahead and take these rockets and pick up a quick double kill. And he's just locking down snipe side of the map here, virtually by himself.
Yeah, I like the way that he's playing. He's just kind of almost like a shark when it comes to the way that he's just smelling blood and making his way throughout the map. You know who he really reminds me actually is when, APG, when he first came out super hot towards the end of Halo 3 actually, with just like this ridiculous shot and kind of aggressive play style that a lot of people weren't expecting. So it's interesting that he's actually going against APG at this time. And overall, it's just a 4-kill game. Optic still in this one. Ace trying to lay down the shots across the map, but they need to get over towards the snipe side of the map in order to actually have some sort of map control.
And of course, we've got some more pretty sexy stats here coming from Ace. And what's even more impressive is that those are pretty good stats for a team that is just constantly getting owned, essentially, for lack of a better word. Yeah. They are not a team that's 50-50 on the stats or a CLG squad that wins almost every single game they play. This is a team that loses the majority of their games.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes what could be the mistakes that Optic are making is maybe looking too much into the actual individuals and maybe not necessarily breaking down the film as a team. So I know these guys are constantly grinding it out and constantly playing. Maybe if they just sat back and actually looked at the game as a whole, it may be a little bit more beneficial than actually grinding nonstop and just playing the game, trying to get better individually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they need to make some sort of changes there in order to find some more success and make it into Season 2. APG with the rockets here, that is a good one. Picks up that double, taking some lessons from Hook, it looks like, and now rotating around, pushing over. He should be able to get control of Snipe Tower here for his
Once
team.
he gets that double kill and he has that player on his radar, I don't think he spotted the player out on his radar, but he should be getting a little bit more aggressive and confident with these rockets. So he finally sees someone on his radar, still is going to slow play, and it looks like the game has slowed down to almost a standstill standoff here, and that's very common for E6. They love to slow the game types down, especially when they don't have power-up control, because that's exactly what happens. Now they've taken the guy to no shields, and he doesn't necessarily know what to do with the rockets, and they have the intel on where he's at. So curious to see how APG is going to play this one. Looks like he's going to shoot 2 long-range rockets instead of conserving those, so a little bit of a misplay there. If he would have just used the advantage when he had it, he would have been able to get these guys on the spawn trap, but just not enough confidence coming out from his end.
I don't like that play either, those rockets. Maybe shoot that one, but just save the second one for at least a trade. Like, you got to be able to, even if you suicide yourself, your teammate has sniper, you could run back to the other side, try to get away with those weapons, but shooting long-range rockets is never a high rate of success.
Yeah, and Maniac with the sniper here in the elbow, and it seems like that's where Straight Sick was sniping from as well. Very popular spot for him to snipe, and Maniac hitting the shot right there. Kind of always known for his sniping when it comes to Coliseum, so let's see how aggressive and confident he's going to play with this one. He has way too many teammates on the rocket side of the map, so he tells APG probably to spread out, and APG making his way over there. Ace also spawning on the elbow, so these guys on Optic need to spread out and get the height advantage if they want to give Maniac any sort of angles on these guys for the side of E6, and instead he's just exposing where he is. None of his teammates are covering him. Hugh gets a kill on Ace, and it looks like Maniac's got 2 players on his radar, so he gets taken out, and this just poor map positioning from Optic.
I see Ace's top rockets, and then there's 2 guys hiding bottom red, while Enigma6 has control of the rest of the map. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, Ace could have made a little bit differently play as well, but overall, everybody pretty much out of position for Optic. I mean, Straight Sick falling off the map right there, and now this game kind of getting away from them. They had their chances. They had the rockets. They had the sniper rifle. It was a 2 or 3 kill game, and it just worries me that they're going to get punished here because E6 is such a strong team, so they're looking to possibly run away with this one, and let's see how they actually play it with the weapons and how they end up spreading out. But going back to the way that everyone was positioned, you know, Ace could have potentially ran towards the scatter shot towards the other side of the map. That's pretty good play, but either way, being low, everybody low, whether that's under the base or on rocket ledge while everybody else is at snipe, you're just not going to win that way, Kyle.
Yeah, I completely agree with you 100%. And not only that, but then it puts 2 snipers now in the hands of Enigma6. Let's see, we do have 1 player from Optic Gaming on the flag. That's going to be Ace. You got 2 people below the base. Everybody needs to collapse on this guy on, you know, red cave here before he ends up getting away. Looks like Hook picks up Maniac. Ace finishes the kill on Hook, and now it's Optic Gaming that's getting actually collapsed upon.
Yeah, and you can just see how comfortable these guys are because they know exactly where their teammates are. They know where the communication and the help's coming from, and they also see where everybody on Optic is at the same time. So just the screens are just completely different when you look at how confident these guys are moving. And as you can see, Maniac not even aware that the sniper guy had dropped. Fortunately, someone's going to clean him up on the side of Optic with a scatter shot. But you can just see the amount of information that's being passed on from one another is much in favor in the side of E6.
And Shooter pushing up, trying to go contest red cave, but looks like Straight Sick or Corey there is going to have that sniper rifle and scatter shots. Starts picking up a few kills. Optic Gaming starting to show some life, and Straight Sick is leading this charge. Ace with the kill, and Straight Sick trying to keep him alive now on blue elbow.
This is really big. This is their opportunity to finally come back. Rockets have just dropped at that 4-minute mark, and they can bait them or they can make their way towards them because Aaron Ace is over there. So Ace and Straight Sick working together. However, Maniac is taken out by an assault rifle over there, and it seems like APG's in a pretty poor position as well under the base, and he gets taken out. So that was pretty much their time to come back, and they lost both of the players on the snipe side, and Aaron hasn't even grabbed those rockets yet. So it's not looking good unless Straight Sick can land some sort of miraculous, you know, snipes on these guys. Ace getting that kill finally on Shooter. A couple body shots coming out from Straight Sick, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, Kyle.
Now Maniac does clean up 1 kill. That's 2 members now dying. Ace picks up yet another kill. 2 members down, and they're starting to bring this back a little bit. Ace dropping down to get in another 1v1. He did grab those new rockets. Straight Sick needs to make sure they stay alive. And Enigma6, did he spot him? He did spot him, so he knows Shooter's crouching bottom, mid. only one shot left in this weapon.
I like
it's
that
a 4-kill
rotation.
game. I don't even know how this happened.
The thing is it could be a 2-kill game. If APG, you know, it could even be tied right now if APG and Maniac were just working together more on that snipe side of the map, just like Straight Sick and Ace were. So landing that body shot, getting that hit marker on the guy, probably calling him out top rockets at the same time. And he doesn't have another long-range weapon, so he's probably going to be trying to look for the DMR here, which now spawns at that old battle rifle. But instead, elects that he wants to push up and grab the old sniper ammo, and someone is possibly baiting it. So really curious to see how no one has even helped him yet. Looks like one player is taken out by Ace with the rockets, and I don't know what happened. It looks like APG was taken out, and that's going to be 2 more kills for an E6 to possibly take this one. Optic needs 5.
And I don't know how APG got back-whacked there. He got snuck up on. Straight Sick was trying to watch his back. I'm not sure what the communications were like. We just didn't see his radar. But it's still anybody's game at this point. But the amount of free deaths that they give up is just remarkable that it's even this close still.
Yeah, and still, it seems like Optic is kind of on the bottom of the map when they need to be getting up. That's APG crouching under the base. That's Maniac still over there by the fountain. Meanwhile, Ace trying to hold down top snipe and bait these rockets. So someone else needs to get up top and get the angles. Oh, that was a big shot that Straight Sick ended up missing. Now that guy's gonna hide, but he does hit the shot. Just imagine if he hit both of them. That's gonna be Boo Boo Doo Boo trying to run away with these rockets. He's sitting there at the corner. I'm not really sure if he's gonna just sit there, but he does end up spawning his teammates there. So Straight Sick could have potentially picked off 2 people and tied this game up.
And let's just go ahead and let this one play out here. We'll take a moment of silence.
No, but I love the way that Straight Sick has constantly been moving around. I wouldn't even doubt if he goes and takes a different angle after that. But look at Ace and Straight Sick just constantly working together, controlling the power-ups, controlling the power weapons, excuse me. And there he is. He is going to end up rotating. Only 1 minute and 10 left in this game. And look at these guys kind of crouching over here. He does have the scatter shot. It looks like he does have the intel too. So if he would just walk down and maybe look for that angle on those guys, he would be able to get that shot.
And pushing towards window here. Looks like, you know, I like what I'm seeing from Enigma6. They're all pushing together, and finally we see Optic Gaming all moving together. You know, just moments ago, you had 2 people pushed into like blue fountain when everyone else is at red and rockets and ended up giving up those free deaths. And then that's the exact opposite of what we see from Enigma6. All 4 players rotating together. But I do like what we're seeing from Straight Sick here. You know, it's kind of risky to be on this ramp with Sniper Scatter, but if he hits a couple headshots, he can quickly close out this game. Less than 1 minute left.
It's so crazy just looking at the player outlines and having all this information, because who would have thought if you're on E6 that you rotate over to snipe side of the map where everyone originally was on Optic and now nobody's there. 25 seconds left. These guys need to get a kill in order to tie this one, and this is pretty much as intense as it can possibly get.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this one plays out, and I am so impressed by Optic Gaming that they're able to close this one and bring this one back essentially. 10 seconds left, and of course if they get 1 kill, this will go to overtime.
Yeah, and Ace, I'm not sure if he has any more rockets left, but there's only 5 seconds, and these guys are taking way too long to collapse. There's a kill with Huke on the rockets. That's going to be 49 to 47. They got to pick up 2 kills quickly, and that's going to be game 50 to 48. And you just look at the such minor mistakes that these guys are making, and they're just throwing away these games, Kyle.
I couldn't agree more. They needed to rotate more quickly. Straight Sick leading the way with the scatter snipe. I'd like to see someone else take his lead so he's not having to check all those corners. He can actually have that sniper out zoomed in on different angles. And like we see here with the stats, Boo Boo Doo Boo, 9, 12 assists and 12 deaths. So a lot of assists coming out from him. No surprise here, Hook leading the pack, 18 kills, 13 deaths. And then Ace also doing pretty well, but still racking up a lot of deaths here. And then APG, 10 and 17 deaths, a little bit too many deaths than you like to see here.
It's just the positioning was a little bit worrisome for me. You know, when I saw Maniac on the rocket ramp, you know, when Straight Sick was sniping there, and you saw like the difference of what it was like with Straight Sick working with Ace compared to working with Maniac, and that's how everybody needs to be working together. You saw E6, a 4-man unit pushing together. Just imagine if Optic was working as well as E6 was as a team, these games would be completely different. It's just all of these minor mistakes in positioning and all of these kind of misplays here are just, you know, the pretty much demise of Optic right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ace winning a 1v1, Straight Sick with some sick snipes. I mean, and it still could have been these players clutching it up to win it. Like, Optic Gaming still had the ability to clutch it and win it. You know, if Straight Sick hit one or two more headshots there, or took out that rocket guy initially.
Well, the rockets originally with APG, when he had the 2 rockets, he gets this double kill here, and this is when he needs to play aggressive. So he gets the double kill. Now you immediately just need to push over to top snipe there instead of just crouching your way around the map. What's the point? You just got numbers. You should be playing really aggressive and forcing the spawns and collapsing on the people that are going to be spawning, because if you have the information on where the other 2 players are, then you know that they're going to be spawning on that area.
And right there, I don't understand how Hook is able to get up behind them in that situation, pick up a free backsmack kill, and that 50-48.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone either way. So many different things, so many big swings of kills that could have happened in favor of Optic Gaming.
Yeah, and the momentum completely on E6's side now, and Optic Gaming, they're going to have to come back. Truth CTF, they're definitely solid at Truth CTF. E6 definitely really good at CTF's Truth as well. But how do you come back from a loss like that? It has to be so demoralizing when you're trying to get your feet under you, you're trying your best to, win these games, and it's just minor mistake after minor mistake. I don't even know, what Optic could potentially do to bring it back besides just taking a look in the mirror, really.
I completely agree. We do have the players ready here in Truth. Capture the flags. Go ahead and take a look. Of course, it is the first 3 captures to win. We do have the camo. We do have fuel rod and sword. So we've seen exciting action on here already. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Optic Gaming can go and bring this one back. Just like Liquid, they just struggle on closing out a lot of these games, and it almost looks like they're playing scared too much over the course of the season of what's happened and the feedback and criticism that they've received over some of their performances. Yeah. It looks like they're playing a lot more individually than as a team now.
Yeah, and love all the guys on the team. I really wish to see them play at their best. It would make for, much more competitive Halo because they have it in them, to potentially be, individually, these guys have what it takes to be on that top 4 area. They just have to not listen to that criticism. They have to just put it together and just, not second guess themselves. And that's one of the things that will screw you over the most in Halo.
And fuel rod, sword in the hands of Boo Boo Doo, wasting no time to grab all the weapons, gives Maniac a fuel rod to the face there, and stays alive, just rotating below Optic Gaming's base. And they got to be scared knowing that the fuel rod sword guy's hiding down there.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Boo Boo Doo didn't actually want to reload that before he ended up going up there. But, one of the keys in this game type, like I was saying before, is the sword. So typically you see the sword guy and he's shooting some long-range fuel rods that's going to hit Maniac and take him down to no shield. The rest of the members of Optic Gaming are going to be spawning inside the bubble, but they're not electing to go push back to their base, and Boo Boo Doo knows that, so he's trying to secure the cap, making his way over towards top car. He's going to have the intel on where Ace is. Looks like Ace trying to make his way towards the base, gets hit with that fuel rod. Now he's completely out of ammo here, probably going to give a little Spartan charge over towards Maniac, who's made his way up the lift. That's going to be another kill. This is definitely going to be a cap as well for the side of E6. They're going to go up 1-0 after already being up 2-0 in the series. Just really nice patience from everybody on E6.
Ace almost picking up that kill. Falls to shooters. AR. Boo Boo Doo is also taken out, but that is going to put the plasma pistol noob combo here in favor of APG. He hits one. Shooter, great map movement, staying alive there. APG hits another one. Picks up the kill on Hook, but is going to be taken out by Kratos. So let's go ahead and take a look at Kratos, see what he's got going on.
Yeah, Kratos definitely one of those players that is very objective-oriented. He has the sword at this point, setting up for a little bit of defensive stand, but you can guarantee as soon as he gets an opportunity to push out with that sword towards the enemy base, he's going to make his way right towards the flag. He does get taken out from a splitter nade from Ace, and that camouflage is up, so curious to see what can happen there. Ace doing his best to try to get into the base there. Hugh says no, but let's see what's going on with the camouflage, Cal. Can we scroll through and see if anyone was able to pick that one up? Right, looks like APG was.
APG looks like he does in fact have that, and fuel rod as well. It's a great job by him getting control of these weapons, but maybe. Yeah, I see where his mind was at, where he can't really do much, no one else in position, so don't have any comment on that play. Of course, you want to get into the base with the fuel rod, use up-close battles, but he was just trying to hold off flag as long as
nobody
possible.
was really in position, but all in all, I'm not a big fan of seeing a flag necessarily go in when you do have camo, when you do have a power-up. I try to always, at least put up some sort of a fight, but I do agree with at least keeping some sort of map control here. But you can see his map movement just not as fluent as we would normally see, so definitely second-guessing testing himself here, picking up a couple kills, which is big. It's up to his teammates now to push in, but Huke's defending the base with the sword, ends up getting 2 huge kills, and even though APG getting kills, his teammates falling all around him. And Straight Sick, though, will be taken out eventually here after getting a kill onto Shooter. I'm shocked that he wasn't being taken out, and that he's just going to be able to lay down shots from that P3 ledge. So a little cheeky ledge there. It's really hard to grenade and really hard to defend, but let's see if Huke's able to land these shots on to Straight Sick. Meanwhile, the rest of his teammates are getting kills. So like I said, just a really, really annoying spot. You have to commit 2 players to killing this guy, and finally he gets taken out. So that should be able to buy them some sort of time and get some sort of positioning.
Now you do have Optic Gaming quickly running back to try to get control of Pink. Maniac doesn't see the player hiding Pink 3, but Ace quickly jumping across with that Fuel Rod takes out 1 player. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he's doing. He is pushing into the base, getting this flagpole, decides to take it Pink. APG's trying to cover him there.
So this is really good. This is really good for Optic Gaming. Camo is coming up soon. There's only 1 player that could potentially stop this cap. I'm not really sure who that player is, so they're just going to give this one up. The thing is at the same time, Camo is coming up. So if they can all stay alive and maintain map control, they should be able to get in position. And finally, we've seen some sort of teamwork and momentum coming from Optic Gaming. Now they get 3 dead. That Camo gets left for Ace. Ace picks that one up. He sees Boo Boo Doo Boo, so I'm curious to see if he's going to try to clear that guy out of the base. He looks like he's going to go for the Fuel Rod instead. So I do like this play from Ace. However, he does need to get back ASAP. Someone else does clean that guy up, so now he can shift his focus over to Kratos. That's 3 dead, and I think this flag is getting pushed in, so Huke is going to be taken down to no shields. I'm not sure if they are going to be able to cap that one. They are, so that's tied 2-2 now. Optic Gaming really turning this one around.
And what a way Camo can just change the outcome. Ace runs in, grabs flag, runs it back, puts in the first flag cap, grabs Camo, picks up another kill there. Would have liked to see him get that kill on Huke. I kind of thought that Fuel Rod might have hit him, but it was a little bit too low, hits the wall, and fantastic play by Huke staying alive.
Yeah, and the thing is now E6 is smelling a little bit of blood. They are definitely getting a little bit more map control. Optic has to stop this here. They have to kill Huke, who's at their base, so these guys are double teaming him. That's going to be Maniac getting the kill, so really nice job of these guys clearing out the people at their base, especially when E6 had map control. That could have been ugly for Optic.
And that looks like 2 dead for each team. Boo Boo Doo Boo trying to stay alive. He ends up falling as well. Last 2 members running towards Pink. Flag is being pulled out in the favor of Ace.
That's 3 dead. That's 3 dead, 1 alive here, and Ace also has the sword, so he is half shields. Let's go wide mode, Kyle. Let's check out his back, see if anything else is going on. He's probably going to get his shields before he decides to ground pound this one back in. I think this is going to be it. There it is, Optic coming back. They are now down in this series 2-1. Just imagine, Kyle, if they would have won that Slayer Coliseum, they could potentially be up in this series 2-1. And that's what drives me so crazy about this Optic Halo team. And I'm sure their fans are sitting there scratching their head. How do we look so good in this game and then make such horrible mistakes in the previous games?
Yeah, and a lot of the games that they have, they literally throw them away, which is why it's so frustrating for those fans to watch. We take a look at the stats. Fantastic job, especially objective play from Ace and Straight Sick. 13 kills, putting on a slaying clinic this game as well. Huke doing what Huke always does, but that was a 2-0 lead for Enigma6, where the momentum just completely switched. 2 sword flag runs involved within that game, and just like that, we've got ourselves a series again.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is we look at the first series of the day, the CLG versus Liquid series, and it kind of played out the same way, where Team Liquid dropped the first 2 games, then all of a sudden, you know, they come back, win game number 3, and the series has technically started for them. So I'm curious to see if Optic will have, you know, a different fate compared to the CLG series, because CLG ended up winning that one 3-1. So now that they're all kind of warmed up and playing, you know, true to Optic Halo form, let's see if they can turn it around in this game 4.
And they should absolutely be able to. I mean, we got game 4 coming up, so it's going to be the Rig Strongholds, one that Optic Gaming has done pretty well on so far. They were the first ones to defeat essentially CLG on that map, and it was an amazing performance, because especially considering Frosty got a kill-tacular that game.
Yep.
And if they're able to steal that win, of course, they're sitting at 2-2, so a 50% win ratio. But of course, the Rig Strongholds for Enigma6, even more impressive with a 71% win rate.
Yep.
They are 5-2 so far.
And overall, I think that that was the best series we've seen APG, or best game we've seen APG play in the series. Definitely, you know, not near perfect Halo, but was making the smart plays that he needed to, being a nuisance, getting control of the camo and the power-ups. So a lot of sharing going on from Optic. and a big statement coming out from them at the same time, because they could have easily just gave up, said, whatever guys, this series is over, but the fact that they fought through it really says a lot about them as players, as individuals, and as a team.
Yeah, be down 2-0 in a series and down 2-0 in game 3 and still be able to bring it back. That just shows the level of effort that this team is putting out, always trying to secure those wins. And in some of those other games, like, they'll be able to go back and look at this series, whether or not they win game 4, and say, this could have been ours. Like, we could have been up 2-1 in this situation.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that, you know, looking at the game types after Eden Strongholds, I would really say Optic did a great job in their veto system, you know, drafting these specific game types, because, like, Slayer Coliseum, again, could have been theirs, but, you know, instead, it ends up being a 2-1 E6 lead. So going into Rigged Strongholds again, curious to see what the beginning strategies are going to be. Are people going to bring that railgun over towards basement? Is someone else going to fly towards basement from the red side? Also, are people going to go and try to double cap the nest on the blue side? And also what ends up happening with that camo are all going to play huge factors on who gets that early lead. And
we do have the players getting ready here for the rig on Strongholds. Of course, 100 points to win. We've seen this game played several times before. Optic Gaming showing some life here in the last series of the night, and they are definitely going to need your hype and love if you're an Optic fan in order to bring this one against one of the best teams in the league in Enigma6, a team that defeated CLG. And right off the start, we've got Ace picking up Railgun and going Tower 2.
Yeah, and it's pretty surprising that no one came from that mid-bridge area. Typically, that's a really epic fight to start the game. It looks like Shooter getting a little late start towards the game or something like that, making his way from the carbine over towards the basement area. But love the way that Ace is playing this one. Really surprised again that no one came from that mid catwalk, but they picked up that camouflage. They have the railgun. However, Hugh with the scatter shot has to be taken down if you want to get this basement.
And he did grab 2 kills. Good job staying alive, and Ace is going to be able to secure that basement. He doesn't know that there's a player right next to him. And he does win the 1v1. Great heads-up play with that railgun. Scattershot still down in basement, and Optic Gaming, like we said, showing some life.
Yeah, showing some life. However, no one was in position to help Straight Stick capture that nest. However, Ace going huge, getting a killing spree already 1 minute into the game, says, I'm going to capture this nest. Let's go, baby. He wants this, and he's going to take the basement, take the nest for his team, and still has railgun.
And of course, if you do look at the bottom right of your screen, you do see those stats up once again, and those stats will be going up even further after this series as Ace is doing work once again, picking up and essentially MVPing the capture of basement and nest to start this one off.
Yeah, and the thing is this is the perfect setup for them. He just needs to slow play this. They need to wait for the pick, and then they can collapse. But once they collapse, they need to realize that the other team is going to end up spawning on the carbine. So it's really just a matter of numbers here and just making sure that you don't give up a death if you're Optic Gaming. So Ace missing that railgun. Is he going to be able to get the kill onto Kratos? No. So a little bit of impatient play from Ace. If he would have slowed that down a little bit more, could have definitely caught Kratos off guard. And as you can see, as soon as they got that kill, E6 decided to push.
Yeah, Hook with a great thrust slide to avoid getting shot there, and he is an extremely aggressive player. If you don't hit your shots there, he is going to take you out. There is no question about that. You can see in the kill feed, Ace does pick up a double kill. Now Hook trying to contest BR base hill, but he is also taken out, almost a trip cap, but instead Optic Gaming showing some more life once again. Let's go ahead and take a look at Straight Stick as he has that new railgun.
Yeah, Straight Stick with the railgun, and I'm not really sure what ended up happening with that camouflage, but either way, Optic looking pretty strong. The camo's still up, so they're definitely going to have to bait this or either make their way towards it. They did have the caps for a little bit, and they ended up losing basement, so the camo does get burned. Optic needs to make sure that they can defend the nest. They have way too many people over towards that basement area. They don't need 3 people looking over there, but fortunately for them, no one on E6 exposed that weakness and made their way over towards the nest side.
And APG just taken out in BR base by himself. Like, that's one of the plays you have control. I'm not sure why he was over there. I don't think he could have spawned there with the other players. It's one of those kind of just question mark plays.
Yeah, and the thing is then you die, and then E6 decides, I want to push, and then that's what I'm talking about, getting heavily punished. Really nice ground pound from Straight Stick. However, E6 decided they wanted to go over towards Nest. I'm sure once they clear Straight Stick out, they're going to be double capping this as well. So APG's only option is to sit here and capture BR base. However, E6 is definitely going to try to contest. They have the numbers and they have the advantage. So let's see how APG ends up playing this one. Gets hit with a nade. He's going to have to wait for his shields here. He needs to make sure that he gets the height advantage before he decides to push. So the fact that Huke is a little out of position is a good thing for him. Ends up getting that kill, and now this is their opportunity to go.
Yeah, just like when APG died before, Huke gets taken out trying to be a sneaky little beaver there, but instead APG finds him, takes him out, and this is what Optic Gaming needs to do to find an opportunity to push out. Great job by Kratos staying alive there and rotating around. Several members dying for Enigma6, but still just not enough pressure from Optic Gaming to start getting control.
Yeah, I like the way APG is playing this one. He could have definitely, that's a weird perfect kill.
That was the sickest perfect kill I've ever seen. I've never known you could actually do that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So I like the way he played that, though. He could have easily dropped down and chased Kratos, but he decided, you know what, I'm in a really important position. Controlling that white corner is definitely one of the most important parts of the map. So definitely a heads-up play from APG. However, E6 is still going to be able to have this ideal setup with camo coming up. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for Optic. They're going to have to push together. They do get the pick onto Kratos, so that's really important. Straight Stick does have the railgun, and they all are on the same page on pushing this barrel side. So really like this play coming out from Straight Stick. 3 kills now, consecutive straight kills, 4 Straight Stick. He's going to add pressure to this BR, gets the killing spree, so really impressive play coming back from him, and Optic showing a lot more signs of life than they were earlier.
That was Straight Stick with the fadeaway jumper, pulling that railgun shot out and staying on the map, grabs a double kill.
Doesn't need to charge this. He does not need to charge that. There's zero reason that he needs to charge that. He just needs to sit back, just wait. Ace could have added the pressure, but now he has to wait for him to spawn, and it leaves Ace in a little bit of an awkward situation.
And now he's going to get in a 4v3, and 2 people are going to run into his face there. He gets spotted. That was just a bad play. There's no other way you can put it. That was a bad play.
That was a bad play. Fortunately, he spawned up, but he did leave Ace in a really poor position. So definitely got to think about what your teammates are doing in that given point in time. Also, sometimes some communication errors can happen where people are freaking out that they're capturing BR base, so maybe he felt obligated to go and challenge that. Either way, needed to just slow play it, and that's the thing that, you know, CLG and these top teams like E6 and Envy do so well, is deciding when they want to stop the cap, when they want to go for the triple cap, and when to just actually set up, and that's what sets the top teams away from those next level teams.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of, like, there's a splinter nade in between you and a sniper. It looks like he just jumped through the splinter nade to grab the sniper and died. You know, you can't just go, just because the hill's being captured and you think you can maybe get over there, doesn't mean you should ever go for it or even remotely go for it. You need to make a good decision, and the good decision was not made.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, they still have a pretty solid lead. So they're going to have probably 1 or 2 chances before the lead is pretty much tied up. In order to make her push here, and it seems like they really like to favor the barrel side of the map. Fortunately, they do have the railgun too. Let's see if Maniac can do something with it. Really nice 180 to get that kill onto Shooter. Ace picks up a kill as well, so they do have the numbers. Looks like Boo Boo Doo Boo's taken down to 1 shot, so it is a 2-on-2 here, and I like that they pushed on the barrel side of the map. It's definitely something that they've talked about. They've realized Nest is way too hard to get. Straight Stick needed to get that kill. You know, but it seems like they are on the same page, which is a really good sign.
And great nade by APG there. That was Straight Stick getting outshot. He had him on radar. The guy wasn't looking at him in front of him. He missed like 3 shots or so. Looks like Ace just picked up the scatter shot as well. He gets taken out by Shooter. And looks like...
Let's see what APG is doing if he's able to capture that one. So that's really big from APG. That nade was pretty godly to sit there and throw it exactly... Ooh, look out for that. To throw that exactly where the camo was and then go and capture Nest was a really big play in this game. However, his teammates have to follow up and make sure that E6 doesn't just get Nest for free.
And Scattershot player is taken out. Ace with a quick double kill. There's only 1 player in Nest. He's not going to be able to pick up the kill with these nades, but he is pushing over. Oh, that player was no shields that whole time. They should be able to double cap this Nest.
They didn't choke spawns. They did not choke the spawns there. So they will get the carbine spawn, and they will also be going towards the Nest. However, it does look like APG was taken over at the BR side of the map. Seems like he's died there a little bit too many times this game. Ace maybe could have thrown those nades earlier instead of helping with the scatter shot guide. I'm not really sure, but either way, they do not have the control right now that they need.
A couple close battles. Ace does pick up the trade there. Shooter takes him out with the scatter shot. Look at Huke here. Lots of nades being thrown into Snipe Hall, but control and a tie game still in favor of Enigma6. But this is about to be a triple cap in their favor, and they do go ahead and pick up that nest. APG's putting in the BR base tower. A little bit of a team nade there from Hoop.
This is the big play right here. Optic now has the railgun. I'm not really sure who picked that one up. Now Shooter getting a double kill. So if you're Optic, you really need to back off here. Huke did not see that player around the corner. That is Ace with the railgun, so really nice job by Ace, but he gets taken out by Huke as well. And here goes the capture and basement. It looks like all of Optic now flooding in towards this basement, but they are getting triple cap. There goes the clear out. It's going to be so hard for Optic to come back from this one now that it is a triple cap. The time is just going to go so fast. First to 100 points is going to walk away with this one. Boo doing his best to keep Maniac over that towards the nest, and that's going to be the series. That's going to be the game. E6 walking away with this one 3-1, and again, just really, really small mistakes. They did have pretty much even kills, maybe even out. Yes, they did outslay them. So they're right there when it comes to the power of the actual kills that they need to get. It's just really small strategic errors, like we saw APG charging into that BR area and making sure that we didn't use that camo effectively. And it's just unfortunate because they really played those last couple of games so much better than the first game. I would really like to see what they're doing when they're playing at full potential. But Kyle, that's been the story of their entire season.
It really has. I mean, the first game was a blowout, no argument there. But every other game from there on out, I feel like it should have been Optic's game. They really should have been able to win it and close it out, but Enigma6 just a little bit too clutch, Hoop just a little bit too big, and they come home with the victory once again.
Yeah, and hats off to E6 because, you know, it's not like Optic was necessarily playing their best, but I feel it hard to believe that, you know, E6 was playing at their best at the same time. So it's always a really rewarding victory when you know you're not playing as good as you should and as dominating as you should, because I feel like we really saw them full form in that first game, but still a really good sign for E6 fans to walk away with this victory.
And that APG perfect kill, the AR-BR combination, that was really cool to see from him as well. But just the triple cap and overall, Enigma6 is a little bit too strong here for Optic Gaming, defeating them game one, 100-9, in one of those dominant Eden strongholds that we have seen in the HCS Pro League. Ridiculously close Coliseum Slayer that I feel like Optic Gaming gave away. Yeah. Followed up by that ridiculous comeback on Truth, down 2-0, and then having the next 3 captures, and then a really back and forth, and I believe it was tied up at 77 before they overcommitted to try to get BR base several times instead of sitting back and just waiting for Enigma6 to come to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very fair to say that besides Eden Strongholds, you know, Coliseum Slayer, Truth CTF, and Rig Strongholds could have went either way. Would have been nice to see a game 5 here and ended on that, but you know, E6 establishing that they deserve to be in that top echelon. They cannot afford to go and lose to Optic Gaming when they're trying to make a stand, just like Envy is to be that second best team next to CLG.
And that was a great series overall to watch. And we had some fantastic series all day today.
Sure did.
Now we do have from Enigma6, the one and the only, Hook. Can you hear me, Hook?
Yes, I can.
All right, now tell us a little bit about that series and how it played out. I was expecting a quick 3-0, and if anything, it looked like Optic Gaming almost had a 2-1 lead going into that game 4.
After the first game, we definitely felt like we were just gonna win easy. So like our communication wasn't as good as the first game. So yeah, because we play our best whenever our communication's like really good. And those last 3 games, it definitely wasn't, but we still able to like win. But against like any other team, well, like against like a team like CLG, like we wouldn't be able to win like that. But tomorrow we're hoping to improve on that.
Yeah, that's something that I was talking to Kyle about, is that you guys weren't necessarily playing your best in those last couple games. However, it has to be a pretty rewarding feeling to be able to, you know, take your level of gameplay maybe from a 10 out of a 10, maybe to like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Meanwhile, Optic stepping up their game and you're still able to walk away with the victory. Well, who would you say is mainly the leader of this team, and what is everybody kind of individually bringing to the table?
Kratos definitely like helps us like overall. Like he's the one like learning everybody else's strats and stuff, as well as Ryan. But our in-game communication usually like is Shooter like directing all of us sort of, and then like him doing that helps us like communicate better. And yeah, that's like our 2 in-game leaders is definitely Shooter and Kratos.
Now, you just matched up with Optic Gaming and ended up taking them out. You know, what do you think that Optic Gaming needs to do going forward if they're able to, you know, turn around? It looks like they will fall to the relegation spots along with Liquid, of course, but still, that 7th and 8th spot, still a lot on the line for those two guys.
I think Optic is like just as good as like most of these other teams. I think everyone in the Pro League is like can beat anyone on any day, just how they play that day. I just think it comes down to like just more practice, I guess. Like the more practice team will win for the most part.
All right. And then, are you currently where are you at right now, and where's the rest of your team at?
I'm just at my house. Kratos, Boo Boo, and our coach is at Kratos' house, and then Shooter's back at his house as well.
Gotcha. Do you have any other kind of plans going forward here with just 1 week left in the pro season?
Of course, to try and win out the rest of our matches, and then hopefully at the tournament we can like prove that we can be one of the best teams.
Well, I'm wondering who you guys are mainly kind of looking out for. You know, is everybody kind of on your radar, or are you guys mainly focused on what you guys have to do individually?
Yeah, we're more focused on ourselves other than other teams. Like, I think that's another big thing that we do. We don't focus too much on other teams, just we focus on ourselves more than others, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good, you know, attribute to have in your team and make other people kind of adjust to what you guys are doing and imposing your will instead of really adjusting. You know, there's definitely some sort of adjustments that you can make when it comes to knowing strategy and beginning strategies and things like that. But I think that that's definitely what sets a top team apart from, you know, the rest of the pack.
Sure, yeah.
Agreed. All right, Hook. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join us here today. Fantastic series from you and the rest of your team, and best of luck tomorrow as well.
Yeah, thank you.
And you heard it from him. He's one of the mini gods here in the Halo, coming over from the Call of Duty scene and living up to all the hype and all the expectations. Hook just doing absolute work. So let's go ahead and take a look at the standings from today and the current schedule and see what we had happen. Of course, we've got Counter Logic Gaming defeating Team Liquid 3-1, followed up by Renegades defeating Evil Geniuses 3-1 as well.
Yeah, and then taking a look at Team Envious against Allegiance, that's 3-2, and then Optic Gaming versus E6, 1-3 in the favor of E6. And with all that said and done, let's take a look at the standings after Week 6, day number 1.
Of course, no surprise here, Counter Logic leading the pack, 10 wins and only 1 loss, although that map win percentage dropping a little bit with that game losing to Liquid. Team Envious and Enigma6 now clearly tied in that number 2 and 3 spots. Of course, Envious just edging out Enigma6 by 2% on the map win percentage rate.
Yeah, and then, you know, the battle is pretty much for this 4th, 5th, 6th place. Who wants to get into that 4th spot? It looked like Renegades really wanted that today, taking down EG with that 6-5 record. Allegiance 5-5, Evil Geniuses 4-7. Not mathematically out of it yet, but they're going to need a little bit of help from Renegades and Allegiance, and also need to win out in order to make their way into that top 4 area. Then finally, we have the 2 teams facing relegation coming up soon. That's Optic Gaming and Team Liquid. You know, the guys in the legendary bracket are just chomping at the bits when it comes time.
And of course, really interesting fact is that Team Liquid's win map percentage rate is higher now than Optic Gaming's. And of course, this is only day 1 of Week 6. We still have a lot of matches in tune or in store for you here tomorrow. Let's take a look at that. Match 1, we've got Team Liquid going up against Evil Geniuses, and like we saw Team Liquid versus CLG, they're looking a lot stronger here. And then another giant mountain for Optic Gaming to climb, but it's something they are able to do. They've already beat them in a game before, and that's Counter Logic Gaming. Then one of what's really on the line for these teams in that battle for finals, Enigma6 going up against Team Allegiance and Team Envious going up against Renegades.
Yeah, these matches tomorrow are so important. I mean, look at Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses, for example. That could be the breaking point for Evil Geniuses. If they end up going down to the team that is in last place, you know, who knows what's going to be happening after that. And then Optic Gaming versus CLG, E6 versus Allegiance. All of these games matter so much, especially for these teams that are just trying to, you know, claw their way towards the top.
And Tom, tell us a little bit about the skins. We saw them throughout this series, but of course they are out as well.
Well, how jealous I am of the skins, or what? Because you know what skin I want.
Yeah. No, I do know what skin you want.
I love the Optic Gaming skins. I think all of the skins look great. You know, you can check them out, halo.gg/skins. You have the CLG ones, you have the Optic ones, you have the Evil Geniuses ones, you know, assault rifle skins, pistol skins. skins. You also have the Halo Championship Series armor, and overall you can get you know, these skins to support your teams, and there's nothing better than giving back to the people that, you know, show so much support to everybody else. So it's just a wonderful thing that 343 is doing, and like I said, I'm jealous.
Awesome skins. I have them all myself already. Just got to support the players. And of course, for any kind of news, standings, and schedules here, make sure you head over to proleague.com/Halo for all the information and news there. Lots of great areas to check out what's been going on, announcements for next week. Of course, there's going to be information about finals and things on there as well, so make sure you check that out.
Yeah, and there's also the open circuit, you guys. That's ESL.gg/HCSNA Open. If you want to partake in the HCS Pro League, that's how you start. Get your squad together. The hardest part is learning the link, and we've done that for you right down there. So just go to that area, get your team of 4, maybe get your coach there, and see where you guys stand up against some of the best players in the country.
And of course, don't forget that tomorrow night, after the broadcast has ended, Maniac will be available for the Arena group chat put on by Skype there, where you'll be able to enter into a conversation, ask him questions, hear a little bit more about behind the scenes, talk to him about today and tomorrow's series, how close they were to almost beating Enigma6 there. That could have gone either way. But of course, we appreciate everyone at home watching, and we will be back with more action in Week 6, Day 2 of the HCS Pro League here at 5 p.m. Pacific Time. GG's and good night.